Hello, I'm Dennis Anderson along with Julie Zenner, and here's what's coming up on Almanac North.
One of the largest private investments in Twin Ports history has been proposed for Superior, where Minnesota Power and a Wisconsin Electric co-op plan to build a $700 million power plant.
Lutheran Social Service is poised to open the Center for Changing Lives, consolidating services and providing housing for at-risk youth in Duluth.
And we'll have the week's top business headlines and bring you a story from the news archive.
So don't go away. Almanac North is straight ahead. Well, hello again and welcome to Almanac North. Thank you very much for being here. And Julie, the weather is really supposed to heat up this weekend.
It's supposed to be pretty warm, slight chance of rain, but get out and do some things.
Maybe the first sunburn of the summer, huh?
I'm hoping.
Okay. All right. Well, we've got some big news from Superior tonight, so we might as well get started.
All right. Thank you, Dennis. Welcome, everyone. Minnesota Power, a division of Duluth-based Elite, announced plans this week to build a natural gas power plant in the city of Superior. MP and Wisconsin's Dairyland Electric Co-op would split the cost of the $700 million plant and share the electricity it generates. The new facility is part of the company's Energy Forward plan, which calls for 44% of its energy supply to be provided by renewable sources by 2025. Here to tell us more about the plan is Julie Pierce, Vice President of Strategy and Planning for Minnesota Power. Jim Paine is the Mayor of Superior. And Deb Amberg is President of Superior Water, Light and Power and Elite's Chief Strategy Officer of Regulatory Operations. And thanks to all of you for being here. Exciting news.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, very excited. Julie, how does a gas-fired plant fit into Minnesota Power's renewable portfolio?
Well, actually, the natural gas is really a flexible resource that we see fitting very well in enabling renewables that we see growing in the future. So this week's announcement was really about the next chapter in our Energy Forward strategy to diversify our power supply from what used to be really traditionally a lot of fossil fuels to much more renewables. And as you add more renewables to this power supply, you need to have something there when the sun isn't shining and the wind isn't blowing and the water isn't flowing. And a flexible natural gas plant is the perfect fit to be able to meet those needs.
Deb, did Minnesota's regulatory process keep the plant from being built on this side of the bay?
That really wasn't a deciding factor. Other factors were much more important, such as proximity to existing gas pipelines, proximity to transmission lines to move the power into the regional grid, and the availability of a site that's really perfect. It's shovel-ready, as they said. It's a good industrial site. Of course, regulatory environment is one factor that we look at, but it was not a deciding factor in this case.
You partnered with, was it Dairyland?
Dairyland Power Cooperative.
Why the partnering?
Out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. They have very similar needs to what we need in terms of the amount of the gas that they'd like to add to their portfolio, as well as the timeline that they wanted to bring it into their system, and the culture of the two companies. We really felt that we worked quite well together.
Mayor Paine, were there a lot of negotiations going on behind the scenes to bring this project together? Or?
And a lot of people doing those negotiations. Obviously, a project of this scale requires a lot of partners with a lot of different interests to come together for a project that works well for everybody involved.
And what does it mean for the city of Superior to get a project this size?
It's hard to compare it to anything else. This is one of the most significant projects in the city's history. So job growth, especially in our industrial sector, good high-paying jobs, and being a leader in energy production, that's what Superior does. That's part of our culture and who we are. And so supporting and growing our economy with a project of this scale is a significant advancement in the growth of our
Mayor,
city.
is this good for both sides of the Bridge, not just Superior?
Absolutely. It's important to remember that economically speaking, we don't draw lines at the border. Our economy spreads throughout the Twin Ports, and people will work at this plant that live in the rural area of Douglas County, that live in the city of Duluth, that live in rural Minnesota. This is a project that works well for everybody in the Twin Ports.
Now, natural gas is still considered a fossil fuel, but much cleaner than coal?
Yes, absolutely. It's about half as carbon intense as some of the other fossil resources we've been using in our coal-fired power plants. So adding this plant really reduces our overall carbon intensity. And as you look at all the renewables that we've been adding, that also has been reducing our carbon intensity tremendously.
Minnesota Power hasn't totally got out of the coal business. How much coal is still being fired to run power plants in the Minnesota Power grid?
Right. Denny, we made plans to remove over half of our coal-fired power plants. So that's over 700 megawatts of coal-fired power plants that will be off of this system by 2026. And that will really leave two of our most efficient coal plants in Cohasset, Minnesota, our Boswell Energy Center, online. And that is about 800 to 900 megawatts of coal-fired generation that we will use to help augment the natural gas and support when the renewables are not available.
And you've already converted the Alaskan plant, I understand, to natural gas as a peaking plant. Has that been working well, and maybe did that experience help move this project forward?
I think so. As we've been building our intelligence around natural gas and how it can fit in the Northland here, the conversion of the Alaskan Energy Center in Hoyt Lakes, Minnesota, really allowed us to experience a peaking type resource that doesn't run very often, but really is there for that reliability of the grid on an ongoing basis.
So is natural gas more reliable than wind and solar?
Natural gas is more reliable, so the fuel comes via a more secure source that isn't reliant on the weather, and so natural gas can be there day or night to be able to support and enable the renewable generation when it's not there.
Deb, you don't hear very often about new power plants being built. How tough is it to permit a new facility like this?
Well, it's certainly a very long, thorough process. There are many issues that have to be looked at, many stakeholder perspectives, and all of which has to be a part of the process. And we're looking forward to the process. We think we've proposed a great project. We think we've selected it very carefully, and it's a great site. But it is a long process, and there are many points of view that need to be taken into account. We know that it will take several years to have the right air permits, the site permits, and the regulatory approvals to go forward with the project.
So, Mayor, what's the timeline? When do you hope to get started? What kind of an employment picture will this also present?
Well, that's a complicated question because there are at least 25 permanent direct jobs in the plant itself, but this is hundreds of construction jobs and over 150 indirect jobs. It's important to remember that a project of this scale is not limited to the operation of the plant itself. There are a number of subsidiary industries that this supports, and so it creates more jobs than just that. But of course, a project this size takes time. The regulatory process that Deb just mentioned takes several years. Bringing the public in to talk and ask questions and be a part of the development of this plant is also very important. So construction, as I understand, will be around 2020, hopefully, and then could be 2024 or 25 before we see operation. So this is a lengthy process that will require patience and diligence in moving forward.
Deb, you're president over at Superior Water, Light, and Power. Having knowledge of the city of Superior, is that something that's a benefit to Minnesota Power as you move forward with this project?
Absolutely. Understanding our neighbors, understanding Enbridge. The site is right next to the Enbridge terminal. Being closely connected to the community, understanding the workforce, understanding the political climate and the wonderful support and the welcoming environment that we've found there. It's a great plus to site a facility of this magnitude in a city as great as Superior is.
Deb, tell us a little bit about potential public information hearings.
Sure. So those are off a little bit, but we will be having some public information meetings, not necessarily hearings, but places for the people to come and learn more about the project. Those will be starting on June 28th of this month. So it's going to be starting right away as we're anxious to be able to answer people's questions and share more information. We'll have information available on our website as well.
Very good.
Of course, when anybody hears about this kind of an investment, it's what, $350 million on the part of Minnesota Power. The first question is, what's that going to do to my rates?
Absolutely.
What can you tell people? Because the company can't absorb it without passing those costs on somehow.
I think first and foremost, as we're looking forward and planning for our future power supply, competitiveness is number one. And we are looking to make our power clean, affordable, reliable for our customers in the long term. You know, this plant is still under development, and this entire package of energy forward resources is still under development. But as these come online, we're really not expecting very much impact and almost negligible impact to customer rates as we bring this forward. It's a very cost competitive combination of resources that's really going to position us and protect us against more volatile energy markets of the future.
The current rate case, though, is somewhat trying to recoup some of those costs from past capital investments, correct?
That's correct. So this rate review that's currently undergoing and we're in process is about investments that we've already made. And what we're talking about here with this announcement is our future investments in power supply.
Does this have to be regulated both in Minnesota and Wisconsin because of the work that you do across the borders?
It does. So it'll require approval from the Minnesota Public Utilities Commission as a resource to bring into the mix that is the Minnesota Power resource mix. And it will also require approval from the environmental regulators in Minnesota to make sure that it's the right site and that there's no harm to the environment as a result of it being there.
I realize you're just getting started, but what's the potential life of a plant like this? How many decades? We're looking many years, I would imagine.
We're planning for about a 20-year life for the facility initially.
Actually, I think we're looking more at 30 to 40-year life for the facility, and it's a long-standing, state-of-the-art facility that'll be here for many decades.
What are you hearing from the business community and residents over in Superior as word of this project starts to spread around?
The vast majority of the public is thrilled. Obviously, the political questions here are about economic development and the environment, but I don't see those as competing questions. I firmly believe, and I think the people of Superior believe, that we can have both, that we can meet our energy needs in a clean, safe, and reliable way that also brings jobs and boosts our economy. This project checks both those boxes, and everything that I'm hearing, the public are thrilled to see the community move forward in this way.
And what's the next step?
So as Deb mentioned, we're going to get started with our outreach. We'll start the conversations. We'll begin the environmental permitting process likely early next year. And then we'll also just continue to work with the City of Superior and Douglas County as we develop this plant further.
All right. Well, it's a very exciting project. Thanks for coming in and sharing information about it.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thank you
Be
all.
here.
Thanks.
Now, let's dig into our news file archive for a look at what was making news 25 years ago this week.
Saturday is the first day of the summer tourism season, and millions of visitors will start flocking to Duluth. According to attraction official Bill Miller, that's in part because of the nation's sagging economy.
With more and more people perhaps not willing to spend great amounts of money with longer term, further destination vacations, Duluth is an ideal location for the many folks in the upper Midwest who are looking simply for a long weekend, short excursion, 1 or 2 nights, something like that.
It is expected tourism will pump about $110 million into the Twin Ports economy this year. Many tourists will spend the summer months wandering around the renovated Canal Park and enjoying the completed lake walk.
The beauty of Lake Superior attracts many visitors to Duluth, but tourists learn quickly as soon as the wind shifts off the frigid lake waters. It's time to bring your sightseeing indoors.
But tourism officials say weather won't put a damper on the season.
The weather definitely is not the obstacle that I think a lot of people might portray it as. We're a fantastic destination. There's just so many things to do that people are going to come in numbers regardless of the climate.
Even if it is a cold summer, there will still be plenty of indoor activities available. The depot will have its Dynamation exhibit in place. It's a prehistoric step back into history. And some new places to go, the Red Lobster restaurant and a new hotel in the heart of Canal Park. In Duluth, Laura Cowan, KDLH News.
Well, about 120 youth don't have a safe place to stay on a typical night in the Duluth area. These young people often have nowhere to turn for a healthy meal, a clean bed, or a warm shower. Lutheran Social Service Center for Changing Lives aims to make a real difference by providing services and housing for the kids that society has often overlooked. The center held a grand opening this week and will open its doors to clients the week of June 19th. So joining us with more is Jodi Harpstead, the CEO of Lutheran Social Service of Minnesota, and Jennifer Julsrud is the director of the new Center for Changing Lives. Thank you both for being here. Jodi, is this the first facility of its kind for LSS in the state of Minnesota?
It certainly is. It's the only one of its
The only
kind
one.
for LSS in the state of Minnesota.
So why Duluth?
So originally it's because the staff in Duluth thought they could be more effective if we could bring all their services together into one place and they could interact with each other more often on a daily basis. But as we came up and started to work on the project, it became clear to us that Duluth is a close enough community to recognize its at-risk youth and a big enough community to pull off a project like this.
Mm-hmm. Now this is a project that has been envisioned for a number of years. How does it feel to see it all kind of coming together, because it really has been sprouting up quickly?
It's been really fun to watch it come together. Jodi and I have been working on this with a number of people. Obviously it's a huge team effort and a statewide, community-wide effort, and it's really satisfying to see it come together.
So Jen, what's the purpose of the center? Who will be your clients?
So they're young people, mostly teenagers and young adults, mostly 16 to 24 years old.
Identified as homeless?
Homeless or at risk of long-term homelessness. So,
And what kind of services will they find there?
we have a truancy intervention program, so we go into the school system and work with kids that are having trouble staying in school, help them graduate from high school. We also have programs that help kids age out of foster care and many others. It's countless.
Jodi, who typically becomes homeless?
The number one reason young people become homeless in Minnesota is that they age out of our foster care system at 18 and are unable to support themselves with the kind of wages they can make. A second important reason that young people become homeless is they come out to their parents as GLBTQ and are often asked to leave their homes.
So there must be other issues also within family dynamics, drugs, alcohol, maybe with parents,
Certainly can
other
be.
things?
Certainly can be. And in general, we say that a young person who ends up in this situation is simply one who doesn't feel that they have a caring adult that they can count on in their lives.
So the center is located on Superior Street in the hillside. Is it a good neighborhood, good location? And if so, what makes it a good place to locate the center?
It's perfect because it's right on the bus line, it's near a grocery store, it's in kind of a neighborhood feel, it's near the lake walk, so there's a lot of amenities for the youth that we serve, and it feels safe, like a safe place for people to come into our building and access our services.
Jen, where are these kids living now, and these young adults? Do they mask their homelessness?
A lot of them do. There's a cohort that our staff talks about in the school system. You know, when you're a teenager, you want to feel like you fit in and you don't want to stick out. So a lot of them go to great lengths to hide the fact that they're not in stable housing or they're homeless. Some of them live in skywalks. They talk about living in abandoned train cars, couch surfing.
Staying with a friend?
Yeah, staying with a friend. Couch surfing is a big way that kids stay off the street. A lot of people think, well, we don't have a big homeless population in the state of Minnesota because it's so cold. But the reality is they couch surf and they find ways to be resourceful and stay warm.
How long will people be able to stay at this facility, and do they pay rent to stay there? Or
Yeah,
what?
there are two types of housing at the center. One is actually our transitional living service called Renaissance that's been in Duluth for 16 years now.
Okay.
And that's one where young people can come and stay up to around 18 months to get themselves together and to be able to move on into stable housing. The other is new for us. It's 10 affordable apartments where young people, perhaps after our services, can come and live, and as long as they pay the rent and take care of the place, they can stay as long as they like. Those people will pay rent, but because of the generous public housing funding that we've received, they'll pay 30% of their income, whatever their income is, and the rest is covered by public funds.
So once they're in the building and they're living there, What do they have to do? Are there classes they have to attend?
In the apartments?
In the apartments.
In the apartments, there's nothing that they have to do. They don't have to be connected to our services, but we do find in this kind of housing across the state, most of them will avail themselves of some kind of support services.
Mm-hmm. And are these apartments furnished, or will people have to provide their own couches and beds and tables and chairs and dishes?
They're fully furnished, and they come. We'll partner with some of our churches eventually, and they'll help us with the transition it with dishes and silverware and stuff, so that they have blankets and things that they need. Because we recognize that these are homeless kids.
How can young people contact you if they need help? Some of them might be watching tonight, and they say, that sounds right for me. How do they contact you?
The best way is to dial 211. And that gets them into the coordinated entry system through the county. And so they get scored, and the people with the highest scores, the greatest need, rise to the top of the list, and they get plugged into housing around the city. And we'll be one of those people.
A couple of other ways that we can find young people. We have our own street outreach staff that goes out to look for young people who might need our help.
Really?
We've had that for many years now in Duluth. And the other is our Safe Place, the yellow diamonds that have shown up here in Duluth in the last few years, where if a young person goes to a place where they have a safe place sign, someone there will call us, and we'll have a volunteer or staff there within 30 minutes to help them think about what they might be able to take advantage of for services.
They're on all of the fire stations and all of the over 60 buses across the city. So if someone's in crisis, they can go to a city bus, tell the bus driver, and sometimes the bus driver will even drive the kids over to the shelter.
I think we mentioned at the beginning, on any given night, there's about 120 youth who are homeless in this city. Do you expect a pretty good influx right away? What are you expecting now as we open up?
Well, our Renaissance Transitional Service is already in Duluth, and that'll move right in starting this next couple of weeks. And then in terms of the apartments, we've just finished them, so now we will tell the coordinated entry system about them. And so when a young person ends up in the system through the counties, they will know about this housing option, but we expect it to fill up very fast.
Last year we served 880 kids in all of our youth services. So.
And you want the community to have a chance to come in and take a look. I understand that you have a couple of open houses coming up.
Thank you for asking. And we have an open house tour for the community to come in and see the building, and that's this Sunday, 2 to 4 o'clock, and then on Monday night, 5 to 7. And it's really your opportunity to see it, because once we bring the kids into the center, we want to respect that this is their home and want to respect their privacy. So this is your opportunity. So I hope you'll come. It's really beautiful.
There's also a 500 Ideas campaign.
There is. While people are there, we're collecting 500 ideas on ending homelessness for youth in Duluth. We already have Post-it notes over the walls from our grand opening this last week, and we're continuing to look for those ideas.
How will ongoing costs be covered?
Well, our overall operating costs have been covered for many years in most of our services, and with the generous funding we have from the state of Minnesota and the city of Duluth, our housing costs are well covered as well, so we're in good shape.
People can also contribute to LSS?
Always.
Yes, become a sustaining member.
How would you rate Duluth overall in terms of how effective it's been at trying to fight the problem of youth homelessness?
Yes, well, when we talk about already serving 800 some youth here in Duluth, and with only 120 any given night who are homeless, we think Duluth is pretty close to the possibility of ending homelessness for Duluth, closer than most. We've also sensed in the time that we've been working on the campaign that there's a really unique sense of community in Duluth that's really unparalleled anywhere else in the state. Just a sense that we have a responsibility for the young people in the community.
A lot of good folks here.
It's wonderful.
All right, Jodi, Jen, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
It's time for a look at the week's business news from the folks at Business North. Like other brick and mortar retailers nationwide, Ascena Retail Group struggled financially during its most recent quarter. The company experienced a 10% traffic decline across all of its segments, and comparable sales dropped 8%. To reduce costs, the owner of Duluth-based Maurice's announced a program to close 268 stores and renegotiate leases at 399 others. Ascena's CEO said he was very disappointed with the performance and said that consumers are increasingly buying online.
An amendment to the Minnesota tax bill addresses a tax lawsuit filed by Blandin Paper Company that could have cost Itasca, St. Louis, Aiken, and Couchiching counties millions of dollars. County officials have complained they would be forced to refund the taxes even though they had collected them in accordance with the state formula. The amendment obligates the state to partially refund tax payments for the past 3 years, but only if Blandin drops its lawsuit, allowing an out-of-court settlement.
A recent mining and tourism study revealed the Arrowhead region has lagged in its recovery from the Great Recession. From 2001 to 2016, overall job growth was just 1%. That compares with 34% in Fargo, 30% in Sioux Falls, and 13% in St. Cloud. The same study shows the Duluth statistical area had one of the lowest gross regional product increases. At just over 16%, it ranked behind Mankato, Rochester, and St. Cloud, among others. Area economic developers said they are reviewing the findings. For more on these and other stories, visit businessnorth.com.
So if you have a comment about our show, call now, dial 218-788-2849 to leave a message, or send an email to almanacnorth@wdsc.org. And you can check the WDSC website when you're looking for program information, updates on station events, and other news here at your public TV station. And Julie, this might be a great weekend to get to the lake or set up the wading pool in the backyard.
All right, if you set up the wading pool, I'm there.
I'm going to the lake.
Okay.
All right. For Julie and the crew at Almanac North, I'm Dennis Anderson. Have a great weekend. Good night, everybody, and be kind.